All right, there we go. Hello everyone. It's been a while. There we go. Hi. So today I'm back to streaming. It's been quite a while, busy with a lot of stuff. And today, just as to restart things. So actually I was planning to assemble some icebreaker today, but the box with the remaining parts arrived a little bit late today, so I decided to do some assembly of a kit by MakerBox. This is a kit from MakerBox, and he created this SMD challenge that a bunch of people were playing with and being challenged with. So as you see, I've been at tour camp this last week, and one of the interesting things was a competition that they were doing where you had to put on 2 parts and like drink a beer, and who was the fastest won. And I think Bunny was the one who won at the end. Yeah, I personally don't need beer to prove that I'm unworthy, so so I decided not to partake, but a lot of people had fun. But it reminded me I have these kits that I actually got from Drew Fustini from Osh Park. He was very generously donated these kits. The first thing we will assemble is this normal SMD challenge, which has an SO8 at tiny and a bunch of parts going down to 0204 size parts. And depending on how well that goes and what time it is, so we can give the Misery Edition also a try. And the Misery Edition uses a QFN at tiny and uses an LED that goes down to 01005. So it is half the size of an 0201 part. So yeah, I'm curious how that goes. I'm actually was looking at the website. So these kits, you can get them from Tindy if you just look for MakerBox SMD challenge. And MakerBox is also in Oregon, so that's pretty nice. And the link is on here, a Google short link. You can hopefully read it here. If the resolution is bad, let's see if the camera decides to actually, there we go, now it is focused. So this is https://goo.gl/big R, big V, small f, big D, small r, large H, I think. So, and then there is also the other kit, which is, the link is https://bit.ly/smd misery. So yeah, let's see how that goes. So in my soldering iron, I currently have a very used up, really old soldering tip that I might want to replace. I have some replacement tips. So let me switch over to the microscope view. So, oh, is this there? There we go. So this is my tip, and it's quite mushroomed up. If we look at it, yeah, it's not a great tip. We can definitely start with it. I basically use that tip since I have that soldering iron. So it is, I don't know, 5 years old now or something like that. Or maybe a little bit less, but still it's quite chewed up. But I have replacement tips that are smaller and nicer. So let's see what we have in the first kit. One thing we have to provide is a battery. So this is something I will have to provide myself, and I found the battery. It's an 20 CR2032 3-volt battery. And there's a holder. There's a holder here. There is the PCB itself. Now let's try to focus. It's a little bit overexposed because of the golden pads. That won't be an issue. But as you see here, it's an SO8 part. Like my fingernail, my dirty fingernail next to it. So here, and it goes from 1206 parts down to 0201. And you see this is quite tiny, and the other kit is even smaller. I am using visual augmentation, namely my microscope, because my eyes are really not good enough to do this. Well, I could try it, but I'm lazy. Let's not overdo it. Let's see if we can solder this and how difficult it will be. But yeah, we will start probably with the biggest part, namely this tiny part. And we have this set of parts here. This is the tiny. It's all beautifully labeled and pulled out. And yeah, here is the card. It contains parts. This one doesn't. So the Misery Edition, I already opened it up. The Misery Edition has second try, so it has a few more of the really tiny parts just in case you lose them, which is very generous, I think, because those tiny parts really like to fly away. Anyway, so I hope that will be fun. There we go. So this is the tiny. And, oh, that's interesting. Look at that. So the tiny has this blob of paint on it. I think it indicates that it was programmed. I think MakerBox is getting those chips pre-programmed from somewhere with the firmware. Yeah. I hope the stream is going well, and you are having a nice Saturday. As far as that possible. And here we go, tweezers, let's open it up. Very nice. So this is the SOT part. Let's try to focus on it. It should show. I might need to tweak focus a little bit. Anyway, so there we go. That should be reasonable enough. So pin 1 is the yellow dot. So it means it will go here. And we will just start with this. So yeah, I was telling you, I've been at Tour Camp. It was an amazing event, as every 2 years. So I will definitely be going there in 2 more years. The interesting thing about Tour Camp is that it is scheduled just between the Dutch and German camps, the Chaos Communication Camp, and last year was Shaw. The Dutch camps change their names every 4 years. It's all interleaved. And Tour Camp was wonderful, full of colorful people and interesting people, full of interesting events, full of colorful displays. A friend of mine, Zach Archer, he, together with another person that I now blank on the name, set up a really beautiful RGB LED sign for TourCamp. You can find it on my Twitter, and several people also posted it. It was really nice because there was a network between all the letters, and he could connect with a laptop to it and configure how it looked on the fly. So basically upload code from a browser directly, which was very nice. It was like a dynamic RGB display. It was quite beautiful. The Control H, it's the hackerspace in Portland. John and the other guys, they brought the LED buckets with them, which were very beautiful. And yeah, I met a few new people. It's like someone who is even in our channel, Gareth. I met him for the first time in person. He's a wonderful human being. It was a pleasure to meet him finally. There were several podcasts that were recorded. So Chris Gamble recorded a very interesting podcast with ShareBrained, or Jared Boone, who is the maker of the HackerF Portapack to make the HackerF a portable SDR, which finally happened. It was really difficult to schedule in the past. I'm glad this happened finally. You should give it a listen. Then there was also Alvaro with his unnamed reverse engineering podcast. That was a lot of fun. I joined in the podcast where he interviewed Schneider from Germany, who is working on Iridium satellite like SMS and data and voice communication system. He was part of the team that reverse engineered that. It was very, very interesting to listen to. Yeah, and probably many other things that I'm forgetting now. I can really recommend that you, if you are interested in some interesting like social event, a hacker conference, this is something I can definitely recommend. Just like SuperCon and Teardown. Yeah. In my opinion, you can skip DEF CON, but that's just me. All right, so the SOT is soldered down, so that's just the beginning. That was easy. Then let's do the first part. It is at 1206. We need a resistor, and why are there 3 parts here? Let's see. There's the capacitor too. Okay, so let's solder the capacitor, the coupling capacitor here. For some reason my phone is ringing. That's okay. Just a reminder. So yeah, what can I tell you else about TourCamp? So yeah, besides the podcast, yeah, we were playing a lot of different things. Spent some time with Jared and Elijah, playing a little bit radio, ham radio. I don't have a license myself, but I was sitting there and watching what they were doing. They were playing a little bit with digital modes. It was quite interesting. So in digital modes, there's one mode that I don't know the name of, but it is an interesting protocol where it is designed to only contain information about your coordinates, and if you're replying to someone or you are waiting for someone to reply, it is that's all the payload, data payload is in there. It is on quite long low frequency, so it has a very good propagation, so you can use good conditions, weather conditions, to communicate very, very far. And the digital data is encoded in like frequency modulation, which sounds very delightful. It sounds like anyways. It was quite awesome. And you are transmitting a packet to asking people to respond to see if how far you reach, and see if the people can respond to your packets. And it's basically a game of how far can I go, with how many people can I connect with, and from where. So unfortunately, as far as I understood, the antenna Elijah had with him was well, it was an okay antenna. The problem was we were like behind a mountain, and we didn't really have good visibility. So all we could do is hang the antenna on a tree and hope for the best. But it was not that great. So they did also some voice communication, which was okay. We heard from someone from Ohio, I think, or Utah. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was a little bit fun there. And the next thing was TourCamp has a great attendance from Seattle area because it is on the Orcas Islands, and it is organized by I think the owners of Ada's Box in Seattle, and because of that they also get a lot of people from associated with the Telecommunications Museum in Seattle. And the group is called, I'm not sure how affiliated they are, but there is a group called EMEA. Oh, hi PD4Z. It might be EMEA encoding. I'm not sure. Jared would have to confirm. Anyway, so the Shady Tail people, and and they set up an analog telephone network, and they bring telephone cables to your tent. They said they made 80 installations, and most people that I knew were complaining that they are being very slow at installing this stuff. And we were making jokes about them doing a very good job at role-playing, ignoring customer as like a real telephone company would do. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, anyways, I talked to them later after the event, and they were saying it's like, yeah, we know we really had trouble keeping up and being able to install fast enough. And so next time, so in 2 years, in 2020, they are considering maybe they can give a package of PCB, like boards and connectors, to get a T1 or E1 uplink to a big camp group, and then they can, from that T1 line or E1 line, spread out from there and make the connections for their camp for all the telephones and services. Services, that's a queue. I would like to, with Elijah and Jared, we were talking about BBSs, and Elijah wanted to set up a BBS. They did actually manage to set up a very simple BBS with a Raspberry Pi, which was just a shell script that was printing 3 ASCII boobs, I think that's what it was. But I would like to bring a proper BBS next in 2 years. So this will be an interesting project to work on. Anyways, am I doing it right? So this should be ground, the bottom of the die. So I think this is correct. It's from plus to ground. Yeah, let me check just in case. So I'm trying to figure out the polarity of this LED. I think I got it right. Yeah. Yeah. Nice red LED. And usually how I find out which polarity an LED is, I look. Okay, let me try to show you. Okay, there you go. So it's a nice large LED, man. So you see that the die is sitting on a pad here, and usually the bottom side is connected to ground. So this is the anode, and no, the cathode, I'm so sorry. So this is the cathode and this is the anode, and the anode is connected to plus. So if we look at the triangle here of the drawing, this should be ground, this should be power. So we will turn this around and solder it this way. But to make that easier, ooh, I'm too close here. So let me revert this a little bit. Okay. Oh, so going back to my plan for 2020, I want a Tupperware box, so it is water and weather resistant. It should contain a battery that can run the thing for about a week. It should have just one connection to the outside, and it should be just a T1 link. So the idea would be to have virtual analog modems that are directly connected to the T1 line inside the Tupperware box, and you will have a few dial-in lines for the BBS. And the BBS, I'm still trying to figure out which software to use. One option could be to have an Apple II really vintage emulation running on an FPGA, for example, and have a really old BBS software running there. Or we could use something more modern like Synchronet. But what I think would be nice is to actually see which BBS is currently still running, and if we can get a sync over FidoNet or something similar, and connect that to the Tupperware box. So that would be an idea. So yeah, that's the plan for in 2 years. Next year is Chaos Communication Camp, and I think they might also have a physical phone network. I'm not exactly sure if they have something similar to ShadyTail running. If I remember correctly, they used to do that, but more recently it's more of a DECT phone. They actively use DECT phone connectivity for coordinating. Instead of using walkie-talkies, they use DECT phones. And they have a big network of DECT running. Yeah. So I don't know what. So we're going to 0805. So this should be still fairly easy. Yeah, I'm sorry, my soldering might not be the greatest so far because I'm talking. I'm trying to not make it too boring for you. It's mostly me soldering components onto the PCB. It would be much faster if I had a stencil, but I thought that would be too much of cheating to do it with to do it that way. It's still very forgiving because, as far as I can tell, Ken, I think that's his name, who made that kit, he decided to use KiCad footprints that are for hand soldering. So they are longer than footprints for as just reflow oven use. We could theoretically power it up, couldn't we? So how is it working? Oh yeah, so this should be minus, right? Yeah, plus is on this top side. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so I think we got it right. Yes. Okay. I should zoom out more because you barely see anything. There we go. Anyway, so if you have any recommendations which BBS software to use, I would be definitely interested in what your recommendations would be, because I personally am aware of BBSs. I remember logging in using some special software, I think called Mini, like Mini the mouse. Logging in from a DOS machine onto a BBS, but my experience was not the greatest because I logged in with that software once, started reading some of the emails on there or some forum posts, and for some reason Mini was misconfigured in some way, and so it mirrored all the messages that were on that server back to that server, duplicating all the emails. It was really bad, and then I got really screamed at in the mailing list for doing this because I had no idea what I'm doing, and the software allowed me to set this up like that. It was bad, and the people really just screamed at me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not logging in again because I could get screamed at again. So that was my experience with BBS, and that's where it ended. And I only used internet much few years later. Yeah, so that's my BBS experience. So I don't really know what BBS software is popular and is still being used for the retro computers, and which ones are... Oh, hey, Platypussy. Nice to see you here. Yeah, so now we are going to 0603. So this stream is also partly inspired by Micah's yesterday's stream. Micah was streaming assembling a tiny reflow oven and bolt port kit, and it was a lot of fun. So I thought I should do something too and do some assembly. As I said earlier, I actually wanted to assemble the the Icebreaker FPGA dev board, but the parts did not arrive early enough, so I decided to do this instead. Come on. Heat transfer. There you go. Things are starting to become interesting now. It's 0603. Still easy enough, hopefully. This is interesting, going from the bigger parts. You really get comfortable with the large parts. Come on. Heat transfer. Should probably put some solder onto my soldering iron. This iron is really... Yeah, I should replace that tip sooner or later. It's not great anymore. Maybe it's even too hot too. It's old. Clean, clean, clean. Come on. Go onto the pad. Okay. Resistor. Let's look at the LED. I have to throw away some of these parts. It's just in the way here now. Hope I didn't throw anything away that I still need. So what next? Yeah, I thought this the phone network is very interesting. So if CCC is actually setting up a telephone network, then maybe like a physical telephone network, it might be a useful thing to try a self-contained BBS box already next year. But I'm not sure I will get that done on time, even if it is planned. So especially the requirement for the T1 line, I'm not sure what CCC does. I know ShadyTel is that's how they are distributing their network. They have uplinks, T1 uplinks, to bigger distributions that they then connect to individual subscribers. Subscribers, aka tens. So yeah, it was fun. It was a really good event with a lot, as I said, a lot of very colorful people, and really a lot of really good conversations. So I have to say I enjoyed it a lot, and TourCamp is definitely something I will continue going to if I can afford it and such. Yeah, the big concern I had from last time was noise, because I need to be happy and enjoy an event, I need to get enough sleep. It's like the times when I could just barely sleep and still enjoy an event are unfortunately long gone. And so I tried to ask people, it's like, is there like a quiet camp and stuff? And Noah had an answer. The only thing I got on the TourCamp mailing list was a snarky comment about jelly shots. So fortunately, there were other people that then contacted me on Twitter and were like, yeah, we're also looking for a quiet camp. We want to be able to sleep at night. And so the they directed me who to talk to from the organizers, and they were very helpful and accommodating and told me where to look for a good tent place, and we did find a good tent place. It was reasonably quiet, we could get sleep, and we could enjoy the day with everyone else, and it was good. It was very good, actually. So yeah, that's tour camp. I'm looking forward to the next event in 2 years. Okay, so we are now down to 0402, and yeah, let's continue. Let's see how that goes. Shouldn't be too hard. This is the size of components that I usually use on my boards, the 0402s. So I should be able to solder it. It's like the flux situation is not great here. Let's be a little bit more generous in flux realm. And add some flux here, because we will need it. It's my nice tacky flux. Should help. Is this somewhat focused? Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Yeah, flux is the trick here. One, on the other side we have to wait for it to warm up. Come on. There we go. That worked nicely. Now the LED. Yeah, so for example, if you look, the LEDs come in plastic reels, and they are very bouncy. So I stopped using 0402 LEDs on my designs because the pick and place machine tends to flick them around all over the machine. Yeah, so hi David, Daniel, I'm sorry. Hi Daniel. Yeah, so I wanted to make it a little bit harder on myself. It's called SMD challenge. I'm already cheating. I'm using microscope. So it should be done actually without a microscope, but I thought that was pushing it too far for my taste. I need my eyes are deteriorating already and making it even worse by straining them. By not using amplification is not something I want to do. So yeah, this is the LED. It's flying all over the place. It's an interesting package. So these packages are interesting. So if you look at it, let me try to center it. Can we get that? So this one, I'm not sure you can see this. So the LEDs themselves are actually produced in a string and then sewn apart in the lengthwise direction. It's like split apart, which I think is very interesting. Okay, so we should be able, come on, sticking to my tweezers now. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, Lewis is really drowning the boards in flux. I don't like doing that because I don't want all the cleaning. I don't have a good high quality ultrasonic cleaner for PCBs. So this is something he has, and yeah, I probably should get one eventually. But I usually use no clean solder paste, and this means I don't need to clean boards. Actually, I talked to several PCB manufacturers, and they, in most cases, will charge you more if you want them to use no clean, normal resin flux or something, for whatever reason you would want that, because they don't want to have to run it through the cleaning. And some of the manufacturers actually can't. They completely got rid of the washing step, and because it's an additional room with a lot of machines that have to run deionized water through it, and yeah, so they stopped doing that in most cases. Let's see. Concentrate, and there we go, flux. Yeah, the small amount of tacky flux. It's like I actually used the Chipquick SMD 291. I got it, I think, from DigiKey. It's basically a syringe like that, probably will last me for the next decade. But yeah, that works pretty good. For the even smaller parts, I was thinking I might end up putting solder on the pads, putting the part on, and using the heat gun. Yeah. So Daniel is pointing something good out. So he says, my only problem with 0402 and small LEDs is that the market is close to invisible with most boards. Shout out to Rom. And sometimes the dust specks may even fool the eye. I always have to probe the single LED. Perfect use for the 0.1 millimeter Vela tip. Yeah, so you are right. What I usually use is what I mentioned before. You might not have been here yet. I actually look at the die position. So there is the LED die, and it is sitting on a pad, and this is the very easy indicator that this is the cathode side of the. So this is the one that is connected to ground. So basically the die is sitting on ground. That's my weird way of thinking it. And so I don't rely on the markings on the back of the LED. I actually look at how the die is positioned and where it sits. And under the microscope, when you're assembling it, it's pretty easy to see. Of course, if you don't have a microscope, it's a pain in the butt. But that's generally anything smaller than 0603 will be a pain in the butt. Yeah, you should definitely get a microscope. At least get a USB microscope for inspection purposes, and or at least the eyepiece, like clockmaker's eyepiece. This helps a lot. I have that in my travel kit, where I'm not traveling with a microscope. I just have this watchmaker's eyepiece. And it's worth investing into a more expensive eyepiece than the really cheapo stuff on Amazon, because the distortion on those really cheap ones with really shitty lenses is quite significant. Okay, so that's where the fun begins. It's the 0201, and already the resistor fell out of the packaging when I was peeling it off. Ah, great. think there's audio switched on here. Let's switch it off. So yeah. Esden-Tempski seems to have a sale at the moment. Order the high-end model. You mean Amscope? No. Esden-Tempski? I'm not aware of that brand. Is that a microscope brand that I'm not aware of? So I assume this would be apropos of our conversation. So yeah, I assume this is what you mean. Okay, so there we go. That's an 0201. This is tiny. So this should be okay. So now let's see. So let me move this away and flux one side. Let's see if the normal technique works on 0402 parts 2. I should probably change the tip to a fresh one. This is really a mushroomed, horrible tip that I have here, as I was mentioning before. Come on, you can do it. There we go. One side. Let's do the same thing on the other. Yeah, okay. Come on. I have to expose enough on the other side so that I can solder the other side. Yeah, this is like doing that this way is just stupid. You shouldn't be doing it this way. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Is that soldered? I think it is. Okay. So now the LED. Oh no, the LED flew away. And you are a tiny bugger. Oh yeah, like, look at this guy. Holy crap. Like, let's compare it to the largest LED. Yeah, look at this. This is the... I love it. 1206 to an 0402. And this is not even the end of the road. And this is the wrong way around. I have to rotate it. Okay. Okay. I should probably, this will not work because this doesn't have in longer pads so I can touch it. So this one actually does require a heat gun. Unless, let's see. Unless I can heat both sides at the same time. Somehow. Oh, pff, it's all flying all around. Okay, you can do it. You can do it. think it's working. Just heating it from the side. Yeah. Yes, there we go. Okay, let's see. Come on. Is that because it's blue? At least this guy is saying, what is this guy saying? Plus, minus 1.5 volts forward voltage. So it is not lighting up. So I think this is a blue LED or something. So yeah. What about this? Did this work? Yeah, this one is lighting up. It's a green LED. This one. Okay, let's see at the edge. Yeah, it's something similar to a BGA. Yeah, it's not great. My soldering is not perfect here. It's just sitting a little bit crooked on there. But I think I did connect it because it says it has 1.5 volt forward voltage. Can I see this in here? This is this one. This is this one. This is the 0402. I have to. There you go. It's not perfect. It's quite a bodge job here, but it did flow. So yeah. So yeah, there we go. So now the last thing we need to do is solder on this battery holder and see if it works. Which way around is that meant to go? I think this is the way. Like this? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so that we can clip it in this side. Yeah, let's change the tip into a nice fat one. Nice fat. And we will use our trusty stick vise. Well, there are no balls. It's not ball grid, yes, but it is. Maybe you could call it. What are they called? LGA packages, land grid array. But this one has the connections only under the package, so it is still an annoying part. So I would agree on that front. So yeah. Let's add some solder here. And then, which way were we saying? This way. I shouldn't touch it. It will be freaking hot as soon as I start soldering it. Ugh, this is not good. I need something to hold it down. Oh, this is how it should be? Okay. Can I hold it down like this? Okay, let's try it. Come on. Flow, you bugger. Flow. Is it attached now? Not really. Ah, crap. And for the irony of everything, the hardest part to solder down is the massive battery holder. Wouldn't that be funny? It's actually nothing else. Okay, so let's try the other side. And then we can come back around and hope that it will wet. Whoa, it's hot. As I told you, don't touch it. Don't touch it. There we go. I think it is wetting now. Okay. Let's try it again. Oh yeah, it's jumped. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now this is still quite hot, but let's see if it works. This is the guy. Let's see how bad of a job did I do. Yeah, the last LED is not firing. So yeah. Yeah, we have to redo this guy. It was not good enough. Let's check if it is connected to ground. Let's add some flux. There we go. A little bit flux. This is really, and change the tab, huh? This was huge. Let's see. Come on, can do it. Did see it flow, but $2032. Oh, it's the battery holder. That's what you're talking about, Daniel? Okay, let's see if that works, because it might have. Come on. Is it in reverse? Is that the one that, like, my rule doesn't work on this one? Let's use a heat gun on this. Let's give up, because we want to move on. There we go. Okay, let's see if that worked. Come on. Really? Ah, there we go. There we go. Very nice. There we go. It's an interesting pattern. I don't know what the pattern is, but it's all blinking. Very cool. So mission accomplished. Let's see if it can. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, there we go. That's SMD challenge. You definitely should pick one up from the Tindy store. Just Maker's Box on Tindy. Definitely worth it. Yeah, I think it's like, yeah, you're probably right, but it's more random than that, than a binary counter. Something very weird going on, because they also flicker and stuff. Yeah, anyways, that was fun. Let's try the harder one. So the Misery edition is the next one to do. How long did this take? I'm actually curious. Just an hour. That's pretty good. So big thanks to Drew Fustini from Osh Park, because this is where I got it from. He generously donated it to the channel. Thank you so much. So that was number one. Now let's try the Misery. Just pretend it's a binary counter. Yeah, I should just pretend it's a binary counter. So, so there's even a card called Second Chance for the Misery edition. The at tiny is a QFN part on this. So that will be fun. I think I will actually reflow that one too. Oh, and it has a switch? This one has a switch. Okay, let's look at the PCB. So this is this. Oh, it doesn't have the 1206 anymore. It starts directly at an 0805. So, can we see this? Jesus Christ. Man, 01005 is tiny. But is it only the resistor or is it both? Because the LED is the LED seems to be the same size as the 0201. So the LED is the same. It's just the resistor, isn't it? That is 01005. Damn, that's fun. Okay, let's do it. But for the QFN, I think I will wet the footprint with solder and then reflow it, because that will be much easier with the heat gun. Yeah, maybe there are not smaller than 0201, but you probably have to go directly to die bonding if you want to have a smaller LED setup. Oh, my leg fell asleep while I was sitting here. Okay. There you go. So this is the at tiny here, and I assume it is also pre-programmed. Yeah, definitely has some temporary tape on it, so I assume it is pre-programmed. Apropos pre-programming, I was getting some STM32s from China, and they need to be wiped, so in the future I want to be able to pre-program them. So I got myself one of those jigs for QFN parts. It's this guy. Got myself a tower like this. Yeah, it is called Misery Edition. It is, yeah. It's not a joke. Well, it's not really a joke, actually. So, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So here you go. This is a programmer. Oh, I cannot go far enough. There we go. So it is a very cool device. How did it work? Yeah, so you push on the top here and it opens up and you can put your QFN part inside, and it has, when it pushes down, it has spring-loaded connections in there, and it can connect to the microcontroller. Do I have one of those here floating around somewhere? That would make it nice, but I don't see one. I had some desoldered ones at some point floating around here. That's what I could just drop in there. Oh, there you go. So you basically take an STM32, it's a QFN part, see here, and you can drop it in here, like this, and it will go in here, be located, and then pressed down, because the whole thing goes down. So I can close it up, and now I should be able to program it. Now I still need to make myself a proper adapter for it. I have to figure out what the pinout on this thing is, and I want to make a somewhat universal device based probably on Blackmagic probe for this kind of a device, so I can program STM32s using one of those adapter things. Anyways, so that's the story behind this. And similar parts are being used. So this is that tiny, it's so much smaller. When they are pre-programming some parts for you before you put them together in production. But I think it is much more automated process where you use like a special pick and place machine that can put it into the jig, program the part, and put it on a reel directly or into a tray. I've seen some videos of the machines that are used for re-reeling parts, so basically taking from a tray into a reel or from a reel into a tray. And these are basically a very compact, special purpose pick and place machines that can sort this stuff, and they are very, very fast. So that's why it doesn't cost that much to get parts pre-programmed or have them re-reeled or put in trays or something, depending on what you need. Because sometimes they come in reels, you need it in trays, and vice versa. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's wet those pads. Oh yeah, too high, I can't see anything. Ugh. Okay. Is it focused? I'm sorry, it's not very focus friendly. Okay. There you go. The main reason, oh, is it not connected? I could theoretically just connect the outer ones, huh? Just solder the outside. I have the feeling the ground pad on this one is not even connected. Yeah, it's not connected. So I could just, should we do this or should we do it properly? I think we should do it properly. Yeah, for this kind of stuff, I think, yeah, let's do that. So I will change to a big tip, put some solder down. And then we take some solder wick, because otherwise it will float. Shoop. Suck it up. Okay, let's put some flux down. Okay, and let's put the part down. What is the, oh, so this is the keycat marking. It's the missing bar here. That's pin 1. I hope. We will see. So there we go. Have it on here. Now, let's reflow that bugger. It's not very floaty. Okay, let's see. Ow, hot, hot, hot. Let's take a glove. It needs more solder. It was not enough solder. Let's see what we can do. So important is, so that's why one would need a yeah. I actually do like QFNs, yeah. I should just, the biggest problem is just to add a little bit more solder here. That should work. Yeah, and you can do that with a horseshoe iron like I have here. The important thing is to keep them disconnected and keep things fluxed. There. Nice fillets. There we go. Come on. There's one pad that is really resisting wetting. There we go. Good. I think that's good. Let's give it another reflow shot. Like here. There we go. Yeah, it just didn't wet them enough. I was very skimpy on the solder front. There we go. Ooh, pushed it. There we go. See a small solder ball floating around here. That's what's annoying me. Okay, good enough. I think so. Now we will clean it afterwards, I think. QFP. That's usually game over for hours of wire botching. You mean? Oh, if you like rip out. So Daniel is making a comment. I love QFN and hate everything with pins. If you mess up while wicking a QFP 144, that's usually game over or hours of wire botching. Can't happen with QFN. Yes, so the pins are much more, well, there are no pins that you can ruin. They're just the pads. So yeah, it's if you mess up a legged part, then the leg is off and good luck fixing that. Yeah, I agree on that front. I like QFNs. They're actually reasonably easy to work with. You see, it's like we soldered it. It's like we will see. It's like let's not call it yet, but it should actually work. If not, well, then we will just desolder it and solder it down on again. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah, let me try to. I can switch this off. This is making an annoying buzzing noise. I was waiting for it to cool down a little bit because otherwise the IPA just immediately evaporates, and that's no fun. So I actually switched over now to 99% IPA. It's much drier. It dries out much quicker than the one that is the 80%. And I do like it so far. It cleans well, and it evaporates quickly. Doesn't leave as much residue as the one that has what's called deionized or distilled water in it. Yeah, this one's but it's much drier. In the worst case, if I don't like it, I can always dilute it with distilled water. Distilled water is easy to get. Yeah, there we go. And dry. Very nice. So yeah, it seems to be doing well. Let's unthing. Yeah, these look much better. They have nice fillets now. I don't think I have any shorts. It's much easier to get shorts on the larger parts that have legs. It's not perfectly aligned, but you see it's like the solder is making the bridges there. Can we see this? Yeah, it looks nice, I think. Is this one? Yeah, just fillet has a little bit more solder than others. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so the QFN part is soldered down. Now we can do the rest. Now the 0805. Just more sip of water. It's very warm in my room, even though the AC is running in the living room. It's not reaching through the whole house, so it's a little bit warm here. It's a very nice summer here in Oregon. So yeah, that's the weather you get. A kitting of this, I can't imagine. This is so much work to kit stuff like this where you have parts, singular parts. It's so much easier to actually assemble this stuff if you have a pick and place machine especially, and have them assembled, because you're not dealing with gluing stuff down onto tiny tapes. But yeah, okay, so capacitor. Let's do the coupling capacitor like we did with the other kit. The resistor already escaped. There we go. Come on. There we go. And the capacitor. And you're huge. huge chunky capacitor. There we go. Yeah, the large parts are so relaxing. You go from tiny parts to the large parts. The large parts are so much easier. But yeah, we are trying to do it in the right order. From the easiest to the hardest. I think that's the correct order. I don't know. Come on. Stupid ground. You can do it. There we go. Yeah, this is the reason why for rework you have the preheating pad that you sit the PCB on. What I don't like about those is that you then have no way of actually working on this thing. It's like elevated. You cannot sit your hands down onto the table because it's hot. So yeah, I'm sure it has disadvantages too. Come on. There we go. LED. I've seen Mike's Electric stuff, and he brought to SuperCon LA last year. He brought his really tiny, I think these were 0201s, white LEDs soldered into a very nice matrix. This was gorgeous stuff. It was really beautiful. I wish my pick and place machine was a little bit more easier to use on the really tiny parts, because it wasn't designed to deal with this really tiny parts. It can deal with them, but it's a little bit finicky, let's say it that way. And so I rather not have to deal with LEDs that are really tiny. I'm not happy with this fillet. It's so annoying. Yeah, you want it nice and shiny. Anyways, this is a little bit thick, but whatever. Yeah, next part is the 0603s. This is the LED, and the resistor. There are two resistors here. I think it is slightly random how many he grabs. I'm not sure why we would need two. Well, I think he's just generous if people lose them. I think that's what it is. Because you can, if you solder this stuff and you have it with your tweezers, it's possible they just spring between your tweezer jaws and fly away very far. So yeah, I can imagine that. Come on, heat up. There we go. There we go. Ugh, that's a blob. It's an unpleasant blob. Let's pull it away. Come on, there we go. Just swipe it away. 0402. So our next patient. Oh, the LED, dude. LED first. There we go. Punk. This one has a marker in form of a weird pad form. Yeah, this is the size I usually use, the 0603s LEDs, because they're easy. I don't use this huge footprints because the reflowing those is not very consistent. They like to float on the pads and stuff. It's not... the larger pads are okay for hand soldering, and they're making it definitely easier, but if you reflow oven this stuff, then they're not great. Okay, now 0402, so the next one. Okay. Come on. There we go. There we go, nice. Come on, heat transfer, you can do it. Come on, come on. There we go. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have a carpet in my workshop. Oh, actually I do. Under the pick and place machine I have anti-static carpet, like a medical one, because that's the best thing I could find that was anti-static to put under the pick and place machine without going bankrupt, because this anti-static mats can really cost you an arm and a leg. So yeah, if the parts disappear in there, you're like, goodbye. Oh, hey, Hans Scanline. Nice to see you here too. Like, I see you in the Twitch chat. It's nice to see you too. Yeah, I got inspired by your PCB assembly yesterday, and I thought I should do something like that too today. So I'm doing a little bit of board assembly today. So yeah. Thanks for that. That was great. Yeah, yesterday's stream was really good. Thank you, Micah. That was a treat. If you have not watched it yet, like the rest of you, go on Scanlime's Micah's channel and rewatch the stream from yesterday. It was a delight. Assembling what is it? Easy Kitchen or Easy Bake reflow oven. And yeah, you should definitely rewatch that if you have not watched that yet. Regarding my soldering tip, it's not ideal. This is what I have. I used that for years. It's just what I keep using. I did get some beveled tips. I can show you in a minute for that. Whoa, don't deform the plastic on the LED. It's so easy to crush them. And I eventually will be switching away from this really nasty used up tip that I have here. But yeah, in a sense, it is like part of the challenge today. See what I can do with this nasty tip that I have still. And so far, so good. I think 0402 should be fine still. There you go. Funk! And it just floated. Very nice. Okay, what else? We have 0201s. Let's go to the next level. Level up! It's like a nice jump and run. Nice progression of difficulty. Oh, come on. Need some more water. I'm starting to get a headache. It's never good. Okay. There we go. Did it work? Yeah, it did work. Okay, 0201. We did it before. We should be able to do it again. In the worst case, we do some reflowing. But on the resistor, it should just work. Resistor is easier. There we go. Man, these are tiny. So tiny, tiny. Look at this bugger. You see this? Let's go to the 0805. You see the difference? This is an 0805 resistor. And this is an 0201 on top of it. Then 0603, 0402, 0201. There we go. Wonderful. Oh yeah, we wanted to flux that out. We did that last time to make things easier. And bloop, and bloop. You can do the same thing on the next level too, while we are already at it. So yeah, what I was saying, I do have some chiseled tips I can show you in a second. I just did not use them yet. That was easier than I expected with the 0201. It's just, I guess it's really the amount of flux you have and how much of the pad you have available to do the heat transfer is necessary, because that's the biggest problem, to get the heat transfer right. There we go. That's an 0201 for you. It wasn't that hard. Let's do the LED again. That was the annoying part because it's wider. Then there we go, it's flying all around. Okay, here you go. Let's see if we can do it. Come on. There we go. think it has a short now. Come on, come on. Okay, that's straight enough. It's a little bit tilted still. Okay. Let's see if it is what this says. Oh, nothing. It's not connected. I think I might need to. I think we have to go with the big gun. Okay, there we go. Ooh, my anti-static mat is heating up. No, 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 no. Made a burn here. That's not what I wanted. Okay, let's see. What does it do now? Weird. Because this one is working, 1.7. This is much higher. Ah, I see. It's beyond. Let's see. Interesting. It's not showing. Well, we will see when we put the battery in, I guess. It looks bridged? No, it's actually not connected. It was bridged before. I removed the bridge. It has some connection to the pad. It's slightly tilted, actually. Yeah, well. Okay, let's do the 01005. That will be fun. Put some flux on here. Okay. Oh my god. These are really tiny parts. My goodness. Shit. Damn, look at this thing. This is amazing. My goodness, this is awesome. Look at this. Oh, come on. Come on. Wait a second to pair of tweezers. Where is it? There. I'm trying to get to align it. Where are we? Here? Yeah. Oh, these are even older tweezers. They're really shitty. So yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Look at, so we go 805. Oh man, oh man. Oh, don't look on the monitor. Look in the microscope. There we go. Holy shit, that's awesome. That's so cool. I burned myself. I burned myself. Crap. Okay, there we go. Okay, the other side. Come on. No, please don't. This is stressful. Yeah, I should just do it with the heat gun, I think. Will be more satisfying. Okay, once again, one more. Maybe I should just heat it up from the side, just like I did with the LED. There we go. Almost there. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That it is actually, what I'm concerned with is the amount of tilt that I'm having now. Come on. Don't want to destroy the pads. I think I'm out of view here now. Yes, I am. Come on, you can do it. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's measure it out, guy. Let's see if we got it. Let's see if the resistance is there. And ohmmeter should be 180 ohm or something. $100 ohm. It says 100 ohm. 330 ohm. 180 ohm. And this one is 100 ohm. Yeah, maybe the flux is being a dick. Anyways, we did it with a soldering iron. That's pretty good. Son of a bitch, this is tiny. Sorry for the curse words, but yeah, this is really tiny. Oh, Platypussy is showing something very cool. It's yeah, I could do it with a hot air gun. I am actually curious if this will work with the bodgy soldering I did so far. So let's see. Window. Oh yeah, you were doing CPU rework to get. Yeah, this probably this resistors are what? 0201s, or are they smaller than that? So yeah, this is what it is. You see this, guys? Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty impressive. This is a good job. This is tiny stuff. Oh, hi Jared. Nice to see you. Yeah, we were admiring Platypussy's amazing CPU capacitors. I mean resistors, or decoupling capacitors. That's what you were saying. Bypass caps. Yeah, yeah, they are tiny. Yeah, I just see that this is quite dry here now. Yeah, so Jared, I did the normal size ones. Yeah, I did the normal challenge, and now I'm doing the misery challenge. So that's what's happening here. I'm still curious how this 01005 part turns out. But before we can check, I think I have to put the LED on. That's the last part that we have to mount that is really tiny. And then, after we've done that, oh, this is the resistor here. Fuck. Yeah, if I want a replacement part, I have one more resistor to play with. But let's put the LED on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, the LEDs are more annoying, the 0201 LEDs. And this is definitely an 0201 LED. But it's a white one. Look at this. Or is it purple maybe? Oh, it's very cool. That's very, very cool. But which way does it go? That's the question. Oh, damn. Does it have markings? Ugh, no markings. Crap. No, no, no. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. See this? It's still here. Didn't lose it yet. Oh, come on. Take off this. Ah. Oh, man. Man, maybe the flux will want to take it. Come on, flux, take it. There we go. Oh, it's Now it is stiff because it got heated up already. Yeah, so this was not wetting. This flux just became thick. Okay, so now the question is, this is something we don't know yet. I think it will be this way. Okay, so let's do this. Let's add it's tilted. Come on. This is intense. Yeah. Does this work? I see the bond wire just come through the phosphor in here. I hope this works. We might need to do some heat gun reflowing after we are done with this. No, the other way around. The other way around. No, it's not. Nothing. Maybe it's too high for my multimeter. It's not going high enough in voltage. We'll see. Yeah, in worst case scenario, we can always come back with a heat gun here. And in the meantime, let's add the switch and the battery holder. So this, Jared, you were saying you have a C64C. I was asking about the C64 because, as you might remember, one of my C64s had an issue with its SID chip, and I think the C64C. Well, if it is a fully working unit, I could put it in one of my C64C cases that I have, that I got on Kickstarter. So it actually might be a very useful solution to me. Yeah, I might be actually interested in a C64C. Yeah, I have those cases that I got on Kickstarter many years ago in anticipation that I might get a C64 eventually. So this is not a bad solution. Oh, come on. Shouldn't be that hard, Peter. It's like you were soldering much smaller parts. There we go. Satisfying flow. Yeah, that's the question. So, Jared, you were saying the right thing. I'm not sure, because I know that the machines that I currently have the old chip in there, not the new SID. So that's what I need to replace. But I'm sure I can use this in one or other form. So I'm sure we can find a good home for it. Oh, this one has even a pin. Oh, that's how it works? Interesting. So you can solder it into this thing. It has like a pin for attaching it to your lapel. And there's the part. That will be fun now. This is the annoying part, actually. This stupid battery holder. Okay, there we go. Let's switch tips. Okay. Now, let's not burn ourselves. I have to adjust it a little bit. There. Okay. Okay. Now the other side. There we go. Let's redo this side with more flux. There we go. Now let's see, I only have one battery here, so let's remove the battery. So this was the previous one that we did. Once more for reference. Now let's see if this one will work. Oh my goodness! It works. All of them work without additional rework. That is so cool. Yeah, success. There we go. Thumbs up. Oh my god, this was fun. This was more fun than I expected. Especially the white. The last one, it's still in 0201 LED, but it's a white one. It's pretty cool. It looks better in person than on video. Still, it's very cool. There we go. All right, so that would be it for now. I will probably have some. Yeah, I wanted to go back because I want to reflow some parts. It's like we have icebreaker boards, the next revision, that are here on my desk. I need to assemble them. I did get that DigiKey package that I was talking about, so I have all the parts, I think. So we will be able to assemble it. But yeah. Yeah, I should clean it up, shouldn't I? I should clean it up. Let's clean it up while we're already at it. Let's make it nice and shiny. So, yeah, this is just IPA. There's a propanol alcohol and a cotton swab, and we should be able to clean it up nicely. It's the 90% IPA, 95 or whatever percent. It's high percent IPA. It works nicely so far. And it dries out quickly. That looks much better, doesn't it? Okay, let's focus. Yeah, there we go. Let's take the other side. There we go. Very cool. Let's put the battery back in. Ka-chink. Ah, this is the wrong way around. Shit. So I hope I didn't break something. No, I didn't. Would have been annoying. There we go. Very cool. So yeah, this will be the next project. It will be the icebreaker version 0.2a. Because we have all the parts now, and this is pretty cool. It looks pretty nice. It's quite a badge. So yeah, I am curious what how it is supposed to work with this pin. So I assume this pin is supposed to go on the back or something. But it doesn't have an additional hole. It should have a hole, shouldn't it? But yeah, I think it is meant to be soldered into the hole here. But yeah, who cares? It's fine. What I think is cool is this is the kit. And you should definitely pick one up from Tindy. That's where MakerBox has those. It is a fun project, as you saw. It's quite challenging, but it's not too bad. If you work cleanly, more cleanly than I, then probably you will have more success. But this worked pretty well. I got it together quite quickly, which is nice. Yeah, so I wanted to wrap it up here. I might come back a little bit later today, but with the other project. But for now, we will end this here. I wanted to say thank you for those that are donating on Patreon. This is really helping. It's really motivating me to come back and do more streams. It's definitely I need to do more of them. I'm aware of that, and I appreciate your patience, and everyone who donates will allow me to work on more projects and definitely motivate me even more to continue doing the streams. And if you like them, you might, and you have a few dollars spare, I would appreciate it. If not, that's fine. That's totally okay. I will keep making some videos and keep streaming and keep doing stuff. I wanted to say thank you to a few Patreons, and there are a few more than from last time. Thank you, Kate Temkin and Keen Measles, Bob Miller, Garrett Kelly, James Neal, and Sid Price for donating $5 and more and keeping this channel going. Yeah, I wish you a wonderful rest of Saturday or the beginning of Sunday, depending probably on which time zone you are in. Thank you for joining. The chat is making it even more enjoyable. And if you have been, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Have a great day. Bye.